Happy New Year, everyone. It is game number 2 of the college football Final Four playoffs. Number 3 Ohio State is up 35-14 on number 2 Clemson. I am your host, Monte Perez, a.k.a. the Sports Whisperer. You can follow me on all sorts of social media. On Twitter, MonteJP231. On Facebook, Monte Perez. And on Instagram, Monte Perez2. Let's bring in our co-host, the owner, operator, founder of Nuts and Boat Sports, Joe Cardoso. Joe, Happy New Year. Round 2 for us.
Happy New Year to you, Monty, and everybody out there watching. Man, we said we wanted a more competitive game, this second game this around, and we did for a little while. But I mean, even with the score being where it is, super impressed with what I've seen from Ohio State this half.
You know, Joe, it's not often that I say this, but Dabo Swinney's getting out-coached. His defense is a wreck. They look like they don't know what the hell's going on. Their best linebacker got thrown out of the game for targeting. Give credit to Ohio State and Coach Day. They have had them guessing all night long. And one of the things I didn't like early on, 4th and 2, it's 14-all at the I think they were at the 46-yard line of themselves, and Clemson punts the ball. You have Trevor Lawrence, right? You have Trevor Lawrence, who's the number 1 pick in the draft. You have Travis Etienne, who's going in the first round. And on 4th and 2, when you couldn't stop Ohio State other than the first drive, you punt the ball. Like Dabo Swinney, you got supposedly the best quarterback in the world, and twice on 4th and 2 and 4th and 3, he's punting the ball. Can we say that Dabo's getting out-coached?
Yeah, we can. I think that's just being arrogant, trying to be a little too cute there. I mean, on a 4th and 2, like you just said, with all the weapons Clemson has, if that's me, I go for it. I think that's just Dabo thinking that we're Clemson. There's no possible way they can score on us. We'll go ahead and punt this ball, and then you see what ends up happening.
You know, Dabo's famous for yelling as an assistant, telling them to do their job. Dabo, how about you do your job and put your team in the best position to win? Because right now they're not. Look, I want to talk about Justin Fields. There's a lot of talk. He's been playing. He played terrible the last month of the season. Questions about him being the number 2 pick. And I think what most people didn't realize going into this game is that Ohio State is kind of like, in Rocky 1. They are hungry. They want respect. They lost last year to this Clemson team when they thought they outplayed them. All year long, this is all they wanted to do was get revenge on Clemson. Before we talk about what Clemson needs to do, talk about what has impressed you the most about this Ohio State offense.
I think, like you said, Monty, I mean, a lot of people didn't want them in the college football playoff. Think about the road they took to get there, not being in the Big Ten championship games, and all of a sudden there's a rule change, and at the end of the season, they're in the Big Ten championship game. The rumblings that came after that game, Justin Fields not looking great. Is he a top 5 pick now? Will he fall? Will his draft stock stumble? And you saw in the first half, man, this kid's a talent. High ceiling. Is he a finished product? Absolutely not. But the ceiling is really high. I was talking to one of our Nuts and Bolts sports guys, and who has a show on our channel as well, Jeff Barnes, and I said, I look at Justin Fields almost as Cam Newton 2.0, but with a higher ceiling. His throwing mechanics look better than Cam Newton's throwing mechanics did and still do today. I think this kid has a bright future, but of course we saw that brutal hit he took. Looked like he was super uncomfortable, as he should be, after taking that hit. So we'll have to see what happens in the second half. Will he come out and play? Will they just run the ball? Will they bring in the backup quarterback? Because, I mean, yeah, you're up big right now, but you can't deny you're up big against Clemson, Trevor Lawrence, all those weapons. They can make this a ball game pretty quickly with some right bounces here and there.
You know, Trey Sermon left Oklahoma. He's at Ohio State. I couldn't believe the last few games when he played with Oklahoma, they didn't really use him that well. He's been a monster in the championship game where he rushed for over 300 yards, and now in this game, he's a beast. He's running over guys. He's running around guys. Where's the rejuvenation come from? You know, Kirk Herbstreit, who you got to take with a grain of salt. He's an Ohio State alum. He's always pro Ohio State. Yeah, it's hard to listen to him. But Trey Sermon has really found his second gear, so to speak, in the second half of the season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In the tradition of Ohio State, which has been producing great running backs year after year, it took a little while for him to get to where he needs to be. But anytime you can break the record for the most rushing yards in a game for the school, when you take a look at the lineage of running backs they've had at Ohio State, you got to give the guy respect. And like you said, he's been playing outstanding in this game, catching the ball out the backfield, continuing this new thing, Monty, now of if you see a defender,
Jumping over players.
defender.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. Look, Joe, I don't know where Clemson goes from here. Ohio State's going to get the ball back. They have not been able to stop them on a 3rd and 8 at the end of the half. Trey Sermon ran for 9 yards. What are you? If you're Dabo Swinney right now, are you just going hurry up offense the rest of the way and say, look, Trevor, you're supposed to be the greatest quarterback on the planet. You were genetically bred to be a quarterback in a lab somewhere. So let's make some plays and stop being so damn conservative.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, of course, they're going to make a big conversation about the Clemson's offensive coordinator not being there because of COVID and not being on the. And I understand that's definitely a major factor. But at the same time, I mean, you saw if you watched the pregame, right when the game started, Dabo Swinney said, "I'm going to do what I've always done, which is have my hand in play calling." So
I'm not buying that's an excuse because Dabo, like you said, Dabo is an offensive-minded guy. He's been very aggressive on both sides of the ball. And again, you want to impose your will on a game. Where are you going to win this game? You're not going to win this game on defense because Ohio State can score on anyone. Same with Alabama. So on 4th and 2 times, 4th and 2 once, 4th and 3 a second time, he punts the ball. Like, what are you telling Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne? Hey, guys, let's come back. After last year we lost, everyone come back. Let's get to the national semifinal game, and we're going to be conservative.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, obviously he's going to have to – whatever game plan they had that first half has already been scrapped. While Ohio State is giving Justin Fields whatever injections he needs to finish the game, Clemson's probably reworking their game plan as well right now because, to your point, Monty, you're going to have to go hurry up. Your defense has to get some stops, obviously. You can't let them keep scoring points on you. Tempo is the key way to go. And when the game first started, you saw Clemson attacking Ohio State in the perimeter with quick screens, runs to the outside. If I'm Clemson, I go back to that. And you would hope you would see a lot more going for it on 4th down if it comes to it.
I mean, look, Travis Etienne, 6 rushes, 14 yards. Trevor Lawrence, 12 for 18, 152. You know, we saw this last year in the national championship game with LSU. They blitzed Trevor Lawrence up the middle a lot, and he's 6'5", 6'4". He's getting balls knocked down at the line of scrimmage. I don't understand that. But he's starting to struggle when they can blitz him. And one of the things that's really frustrating me with Clemson is they're blitzing all the time, and they're not getting to the quarterback of Ohio State. So they got to figure out a way to disrupt him. He's not going to be that mobile because of his rib injury or back injury. But I'm seeing Trevor Lawrence now, and I'm like, hey, I was on the Trevor Lawrence bandwagon for 3 years. The golden child, the prodigal son, the best prospect since John Elway. Now, all of a sudden, LSU last year and now Ohio State this year, who, let's face it, their defense is not an elite defense like we've seen. I mean, they were better defensively last year with Chase Young. So, I mean, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't come out and do something here, I'm not going to say he's not going to be the number 1 pick. Obviously, he's the number 1 pick, Joe. But are we taking a step back and saying this guy's not as great as we think he is?
Yeah, yes and no. I don't know. I mean, he's a young guy. I think it depends on what he does in the second half, right? I mean, a true sign of greatness is overcoming adversity. So if he can come out in this second half and do the things we're used to seeing him do, I think that will hush a lot of the talk that's going on social media right now. But to your point, I definitely feel like if you rush him up the middle, it's like Tom Brady. You pressure him up the middle, make him get off his spot, make him uncomfortable. He becomes inaccurate. He gets happy feet. And we're seeing that right now with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, you know, overcoming adversity. Talk about my adversity right now. I bet on Alabama and Clemson to both win. So I'm overcoming adversity, not smashing my computer right now because I'm so mad at the way they played. But look, I mean, I mentioned this to our good friend Jeff from Nuts and Bolts Sports when he was on my show a few weeks ago, the Full Monty Sports Show. I said, can we say that Day has done a better job, even though he hasn't won a title? Because when you replace a legend like he has in Urban Meyer, you take a step back. Ohio State has gotten better.
Yeah, they have. Oh yeah, I don't think they missed a beat. And I know as a Michigan fan, if you could just hear the pain in my inside saying that, but they haven't missed a beat at all. I mean, it's top recruiting classes year after year, picking up great transfers. I mean, look at Sermon. I mean, look at just picking up great people to transfer into their program. You get Justin Fields to transfer from Georgia to Ohio State, and you see the product that he became. So they haven't missed a beat. I think it's definitely a smooth transition, one of the smoother transitions we've seen. Because to your point, a lot of times when a legend leaves, there's a drop off, whether it be a season, whether it be 2 seasons. It takes a while for that program to get back to an elite level. And with Ohio State, that hasn't been the case at all.
You know, and one of the things is Urban Meyer was bigger than life. He was bigger than life in Florida. He was bigger than life in Ohio State. And you know, he's low key. He doesn't command the spotlight, and I think that's actually a good thing for his players. You know, he doesn't make it bigger than they are. And I loved what I saw during the broadcast. They showed Justin Fields working out in the Ohio State weight room, and on all the pictures, they have Clemson beating them last year, 29-23. They didn't run away from that loss. They accepted it, and they put everything, and they are like a hungry fighter. Like I'll never forget the Rocky movie. I know this is going back, but in the first round, Rocky's punching Apollo Creed, and the promoter takes out his cigar, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?" After the first drive with Clemson, I'm watching the game with my dad, and we're like, this is not the Clemson. Like, what the hell's going on? It's almost like Clemson feels like they deserve to win this game, and they're not as hungry, and that's directly on the coach.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good analogy, too. I mean, like you said, that game last year, statistically, Ohio State won, but obviously in the final score, they lost. So to have that as a motivation, you can see these guys are hungry. I mean, they're flying all around the field. They're making big plays. You had guys that were banged up for Ohio State last year that didn't get to play in that game, that get a chance to play in this game. They're making the most of the opportunity. I think that Clemson was not expecting to get punched in the mouth as hard as they have by Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State's winning the game on the trenches. They're making plays on the outside. It's been all OSU.
Yeah, no, they just other than the opening drive, they just look super hungry. It's almost like comparing it to like a boxer who gets into the ring with a brawler, and the boxer wants to keep away. The boxer doesn't want to get ugly. I think Clemson's been reading the hype. Do you think that Dabo Swinney's saying that Ohio State should probably be ranked 11th before this game took place last week or the week before? Do you think that had any motivation for Ohio State as well?
Oh, of course, man. That's bulletin board material. That's a stupid statement. But again, that's one of the things that people talk about when we talk about Dabo Swinney is he's arrogant. And I mean, I call that the Dabo arrogance right there, making that statement when you know you're going to go up against a team. And you have to understand, everyone's dealing with COVID-19, obviously. So Ohio State's schedule is Ohio State's schedule. The Buckeyes would have played everyone on their schedule if things were normal. They're not normal. It's not their fault they played 6 or 7 games. But now they've been given the opportunity to play in the college football playoffs, and unlike Notre Dame, they're making the most of it.
Okay, so Joe, talking with Joe Cardoso here live on the Nuts and Bolts Sports YouTube channel. Guys, please subscribe to Nuts and Bolts Sports on YouTube. Check out the full Monte Sports Show every Sunday at 11 a.m. Joe, now, do I watch this game for another quarter, or how quickly do I go back to my Cobra Kai? Because I've seen 4 episodes already. I mean, are these guys going to make a comeback, or is it Cobra Kai time?
I was wondering at what point during today would I hear Monte talk about Cobra Kai. I haven't even watched a single episode of this show, but it seems like everybody and their mother is watching.
Wait. You haven't watched season 1 or 2?
I haven't watched any of it. I've never seen an episode of my life.
Joe, all you tweet about is watching this movie. I need a Netflix series. How have you not watched Cobra Kai?
I'm gonna give it a whirl. So to answer your question, I'm giving this game another quarter. I want to see what Clemson can do. And I have a question for you, Monte. The targeting call, which ejected one of the star linebackers from Clemson, in your opinion, was that or was that not targeting? And should that rule be adjusted? Like, should you get a warning, second time ejection, or how do you think about that?
When I saw it live, I said that's not targeting. I thought he went in with the shoulder, but you could clearly see he went with the helmet, with the crown of his helmet to his midsection. Back in the day, that was a clean hit. That was a great hit. But I agree with you. I think there should be a 15-yard penalty, and the player has to sit out one play, go to the sideline, and then he comes back. If you have 2, you get thrown out. I don't think if it's below the waist and it's not helmet to helmet, it should be a 15-yard penalty. What are your thoughts?
See, man, he's a runner though. Like if that was a running back that got hit like that, there would have been no conversation about targeting at all. He's once you decide not to slide and you're running, you are a runner. And I mean, what happens happens. So I didn't think it was targeting, but to your point, I do think if you're going to call that, it's got to be, hey, warning, 15-yard penalty, sit out a play or two, second time out of there. Because
Maybe
I mean,
not even maybe if you want to go a step further, maybe not sit out a play. You sit out until the next defensive series. So if you get a targeting call and they're on the 20-yard line and they go all the way drive down for a touchdown, you get to come back on the field after they punt or they score.
yeah, I just think it's brutal, man. And every time this targeting call comes into play, it's always either a star player of the team or a guy that's a key sub, and it changes the entire momentum of the game. I'm all about player safety, but at the same time, when you talk about 18 to 22-year-olds, they're going to make dumb mistakes. They're still learning the game, believe it or not. They're not professionals. And I think just to be like, oh my God, targeting, get out the game. Man, good Lord. Can I think about it? Can I talk about, can my coach talk to me? Can we watch the replay on one of the 15,000 iPads in the sidelines so I can a teachable moment? But to just be like, target, you're out of the game, I think that's super harsh.
No, I agree too. And they lost their best linebacker, and like you said, he becomes a runner at that point. He's not a quarterback in the pocket. He's out in the open field. One of the things that really bothered me about that too, when I first saw it live, I was like, what if Justin Fields didn't get hurt, would they have looked at that? Because it was a brutal hit, but it looked to be clean at first. And I thought he had a broken rib. I still think he might have a fractured rib or something. But do you think if he just got up, they would have reviewed that or no?
No, I don't. I think if Justin Fields hops back up and goes to the huddle, there's no review at all. And it was. I almost feel like it was a bang bang play because Fields didn't slide.
Right. He didn't slide. All right. So, listen, I think they have to stop Ohio State. Obviously, they got to score. And again, I'm telling all the fans watching, we've all talked about Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, go out and be the best player on the field. Go out and dominate. Go out and win. You were the one who said, we need to play football. I'm hungry for a national championship. After we lost last year to LSU, this is what I work for. Because of COVID, I want to play. I want to have a chance to win a national championship. So, Trevor, go out and do it.
Yeah, I mean it's all on him. He's the leader of the team. He's going to set the tone. So we'll have to see what happens. It's going to be interesting second half for sure. If Ohio State comes out here and gets another touchdown, yeah, it might be time to fire up that Cobra Kai.
It's Joe, it's unbelievable. I'm telling you. If you watch Karate Kid, okay, and Karate Kid, I went back and I watched Karate Kid this week to prepare. Wow. The Karate Kid movies are so bad, it's not even funny. Growing up, I loved them. Joe. But now that I watched it as an adult, I'm like, this is the corny. Daniel LaRusso is the whiniest little wimp I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Right, talk about nuts and bolts sports. What's coming down the pike, and then I'll talk about my show, and we'll get back to the second half.
Woo, a lot's going on. First of all, happy birthday to us. It's our 6-year anniversary today for Nuts and Bolts Sports. So I want to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting us, whether it's a like, a retweet, obviously the entire staff of Nuts and Bolts Sports puts in a lot of work. I want to thank them, especially last year, like you said, with COVID-19, still being able to produce quality content at a high rate. Definitely respect my staff and appreciate them for that. A lot of stuff coming down the pipe, Monte. We're already talking about NFL draft. Obviously, NFL playoffs are coming up. There's a rumor that I might even have my own YouTube show coming soon. So a lot's going on with Nuts and Bolts Sports. No days off and no dull moments.
Whoa. Whoa. You're going to have your own show.
Rumor. I didn't say that. But no debut date. There's a rumor. You haven't been, man, you got to get in the Slack channel where we all talk. It's been going on for like 2 or 3 weeks now, this conversation.
You know, Joe, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I email everyone on my show via email. The only thing I'm not on is Slack, but I will try to get back on there. It's like the one app I never, ever use.
No, I feel you. Everybody has that one or two they don't use. Like Jeff Barnes doesn't do Instagram. I think it's like crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm good on Twitter and Facebook. Instagram, I'm getting better on. All right, guys, enjoy the second half. 11 o'clock every Sunday, the full Monte Sports Show. Not every day, but at least 2-3 times a week. When I go check YouTube, we are trending number 3 behind Undisputed and that bastard Norm Macdonald who keeps beating me. And he's always ahead of me, the comedian, for his sports show. So we're trending number 3. Check it out. This Sunday is going to be a great show. One of our guests is going to be the producer of Good Morning Football, Matt Hamilton. He's going to join us. So we're definitely looking forward to that. Joe, enjoy the second half. Have a good New Year. And please, Joe, give Cobra Kai a chance.
I am. I am. I'm tired of being left out in the cold in the work conversations, so I'm going to get on it.
You're going to watch the first episode, and you're going to be like, all right, this is a little corny. Then you're going to watch the second episode, and you're going to be like, I'm hooked. Listen, George Lopez and Greg, 2 guys who've been on my show, been with you, they watched season 3 today. They sat down and watched every episode.
The whole thing?
The whole thing, season 3.
That's incredible. Okay.
George wow. From 9 to 3. And they're only 22 minutes, 24 minutes. So they're not long.
Oh, all right, cool. Now I'm gonna give it a whirl. I'll have my review by the end of next week, if not earlier.
All right. I want to thank Joe Cardoso. I want to thank Nuts and Bolts Sports. Again, congratulations on the 6 years. And I want to thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the second half, everyone. And remember, the full Monte Sports Show airs live every Sunday at 11 a.m. We'll see you guys on Sunday.